hands together in a warm, warm Nerd HQ welcome to Felicia Day!
Wow.
Wow.
This is a rowdy crowd. Rowdy. That was
I love that. By the way, we were back in the back. We were talking about commiserating about how when you're doing an event or you're doing things at Comic-Con, and literally you know when you get a text from somebody, it's the same person. You don't hear from them all year long.
same 5 or 6 people.
Same 5
it's
or
like
6
a very
people
shallow.
that will then like text you and be like, "Hey man, you doing your thing at Comic-Con? Just checking." I'm like, you know damn well I'm doing my thing at Comic-Con. You just want to get in the party,
friend.
you schmuck.
Hey
Yes.
friend, can I have an invite for me and 14 of my best
14
friends?
of my best friends. But by the way, the reason I bring it up is because in the same breath, though, I am guilty of this because we're busy. You're very busy.
No,
and
you're
I'm
busy.
And I'm busy. We're busy.
You're
We're
busy.
busy.
You're
We're
busy.
busy. But we come down to the wire, like putting Nerd HQ together, and often with the panels, you know, it's really about like who's going to be in San Diego at that time, and I don't know. I'm off gallivanting wherever the hell I am, and then I come back and we have meetings. We're like, okay, where are we at with panels and stuff like that, and then I know where we have some windows, and so then I'm guilty of this because then I reach out to you around the same time every year, and I'm like,
Hey friend.
Felicia.
Hey Zach.
You got an hour to spend with
what
us
do you do
over
Thursday?
Yeah, but to your credit, you're such a rock star, and you come through and
Well,
you support us, and you're awesome. Felicia Day.
I love what you do. From the moment you inspired a lot of what I've done, you know, in my community. I just love, you know, you're the OG. You're the OG
I'll take it.
offsite.
I'm the Easy-E of nerddom. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I hope not. He died. That was bad. That was not good.
I think the first time I ever stayed out past 2 a.m. was as a party that you invite. Yeah.
No way, really?
I mean,
Wait, the first time in your
I'm
life you ever
boring.
stayed out over day?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
No, I've appreciated it. Because I came to her, by the way. I went to you and Hardwick and Fillion and Seth Green. You were the first 4 people.
That was the first year, right?
It was the first year, but it was before we did it the first year. And you were the first 4 people that I went to, and I said, I got this crazy idea. I want to go do like my own little con at the con, and we'll do panels and parties and stuff like that. And you've continued to support us, and
It's a good vision to support, and the fact that you help an amazing charity is
Sure.
I mean, yeah.
Look, I think, part of the reason why is because I didn't want to come to you and be like, hey, could you come do a panel so I can make money off of you? Like, that just seemed,
Man, yeah.
although if you want to pay me, no. But
I
that
wish
just
I had money.
Yeah, right?
I
But
do web
that just
content.
didn't seem right. I was like, I want to do cool shit, but I don't want to, like, we'll go make money from sponsors and selling merch and stuff. I don't want to make money off people that I know or don't know that are in the
nice.
business.
And it's also community built. You know, people come together to be like, hey, let's all do something good together and have a little more intimate experience than everybody gets on the floor, you know? So, we have the same thing over at Petco. People can come and play some games, you know?
Exactly.
Just do something simple and give people a little bit of AC. And it makes the experience. It is so balls hot out there, you guys.
How's the AC feeling in here right now? Everybody cool? Is this an improvement from last year? Is the tiered seating an improvement from last year?
Beautiful.
All right, I'm out of here. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Who's got some questions for Felicia Day?
Nobody?
No. How quick? Yeah.
Oh, good, we have some.
No, you get to pick them. Unless you want me to pick them, but it's your panel. You
Well,
get to
you're
pick.
the front guy, so front guy, go.
Front man.
Front man.
Oh, right behind you. He
Why
was
is
about
your
to tackle her. He's like, give me that mic.
I guess I scared him off.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's your ball. It's the balls hot thing, you know. I'm sorry to talk about your balls. So awkward.
My name is AJ, and I was just curious, given everything that has been happening on Twitter of late. I saw you responded to what's taking place. I was just curious if you could expand on some of that and maybe just touch on what you've had to go through so that people know what's going on, because it really is shameful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I mean,
Could you explain? I don't even know what's going on.
Leslie, the actress from the Ghostbusters, she quit Twitter because.
Oh, Leslie Jones.
Yeah, exactly. Leslie, she quit Twitter because basically what I understand happened was that somebody coordinated like a 4chan attack on her, and it was basically that guy Milo, who is very famous, was one of the people who led the whole Gamergate thing, which I talk about in my book, which was a very unpleasant experience for me. And they finally did something about it, and I think they're going to take some steps, which is like a couple years too late, guys. But having gone through that myself and a version of it, you know, it's sad that it took a celebrity who's very high profile to make something different happen, but I'm just glad they're doing something. So they're going to be more aggressive about kicking people off the service who are harassing people, as well as having the ability to become a verified user, whoever you are, so that you have a check mark next to your name and you have a little bit more accountability to the things you do on.
So what you're saying is I'm about to lose my check mark, is what you're saying.
I'm so
They're going to get
sorry,
real
Zach.
stringent, guys.
Yeah. And I think it's really important. You know, I went on a Twitter like rage because I got so angry about it. Because honestly, we as people give our lives to these platforms online for free. I mean, we're all working for someone so they can make billions of dollars off of their IPOs. I mean, that's literally what we do every day online. And you know, when you put it like that, you're like, well, I'm going to log off and live in the woods. But you can't. You don't want to do that because
I'm going to log off and go live in the woods and then get online again.
Yeah, because there's nothing to do in the woods. There's nobody around me. So like, we don't want to do that because the online world enhances our lives a lot. But the platforms, it's not public space out there, you know? Like, I like to make the analogy, it's a restaurant. They're running a restaurant and they're serving people, and if somebody comes in and punches you in the face or says, hey, you're stupid, and I'm going to or something much worse, you have to do something about that person in your establishment. And like, we have to treat the private spaces, if they're going to make money off of people, they have to treat it like private spaces and make it safe for people, or basically we're going to log off and go somewhere else. So I like the idea that online they're doing something about it. You know, it's a slippery slope because then you start censoring people, you selectively tell people, I don't like what you're doing, I don't like what you're doing, but you know, there are egregious harassment incidents, like especially the Gamergate incident that I, you know, was not even the worst front of it, and yet nothing really happened after that. So at least they're doing something. And I guess my message to everybody would be like, just be as aggressive as possible about knocking people off your invite list. Like, if they come in and are like, hey, you're ugly, I'm like, well, I don't want to hear from you again. You would not invite that guy to your your barbecue, right? You'd be like, get out. Well, just block him and mute him. And I've done that, and I did it so well over the last couple of years. I didn't even know that a lot of that stuff was happening. Yeah, and then when you search your name, I'm like, oh, God. Never search your name on Twitter. Just don't. Anyway, that's a good question. Okay. Next.
That is just really quick, just to add to that, is it is such a gnarly thing where we're sitting in the middle of, societally speaking, because where is that line? Where is that line where you're still allowing people freedom of speech, and who? Because it gets very subjective. What some people think is harassment, and other people think like grow some thicker skin. Like, well, that person was just disagreeing with you. Yep. That's not harassment. And then who gets to decide all that stuff? But certainly nobody should be getting harassed. Nobody should be getting, like, when people are
or feeling unsafe.
Oh,
I mean, I felt unsafe because, I mean, I wrote it on my boat, people show up at my house, you know, a very unsafe situation.
But like,
or being threatened by, my life being threatened by people, getting restraining orders against, you know, mental.
To me, some of the worst things I've ever heard are online gaming.
Oh, yeah.
It's unreal.
Yeah. 12-year-olds mostly.
12-year-olds saying the most racist, misogynistic, like horrible shit. I'm like, what? Where are your parents?
Yeah.
Clearly they're not in the same room, and if they are, then you all need to get slapped, because I can't believe what's coming out of your mouth right now.
Well, it's almost like we have a society that agrees on some rules, right?
Well, yeah, but it's also become a society of anonymity. That's
the thing. But if you look at the internet, where it's just pockets of society where people are sort of redefining what's acceptable and what's cool.
Right.
And then I think actually that's translating into real life. People are being a lot bolder and saying things that are, more aggressive. I mean, even the kind of all the crazy violence we're having, they could trace to people in online forums, like. You know, it's really scary what the fragmentation and people being steeped in a worldview that is very radicalized, but they think is okay because 100 other people in a forum say, yeah, it's okay to think like that. So I think there's a lot of issues online that we're going to have to deal with going forward, and hopefully it's just a growing pain that we get through, and we can kind of create a good baseline of behavior, sipping tea together, having some.
Well, let's not become British. I don't want to do that.
Why
That's not.
I love using my accent.
Where are we going, Mary Poppins?
I don't know. Let's go down there and get a pence. A tuppence. Oh, God. Next
question. You got it. You pick them.
Let's do. Oh, you have an animal on your head. Animal head.
Animal head person.
Animal head lady. Yes. I can't wait for AR. By the way, I'm obsessed with Pokemon Go. I can't wait for AR, so when I have a contact lens in my eye, I'll be able to look at you and be like, Janice. Right? It'll just be a little pop-up, like, my name's Janice. Guys, it'll happen, all right? I invented it right here. Anyway.
Hi, Felicia. My
Hi.
name is Nina.
It's not Janice.
Anyways, this was a very important conversation we were having, so I feel silly for stepping into a light and fluffy question.
No, lighten
Oh, bring
up,
it, bring it.
Please.
Bring it.
You do so much, and it's so much. But anyways,
I know.
right? However, I was just wondering if there is something that you haven't done that you would really, what's on your bucket list? What would you really like to do that you haven't done?
Oh my God. Let's see. I really want to live. I want to take a baking. I want to be like a 1980s woman who does like a memoir about being an expat, and I want to learn how to make baguettes in France for like a month. And I want to ride a bicycle like Amelie.
That is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh my God, it's my favorite movie. Did you?
What?
They're doing a musical version.
I know.
What the fuck was that?
I know. No. By the way, look, it could be amazing. I personally have a slight aversion to Broadway musicals that are movie ports. I have a hard time with that.
I got you.
I have a hard time with that.
They're usually scummy.
Especially if they are amazing movies that I love so much. I'm like, don't touch that.
It's kind of like
Trying to make a Groundhog Day musical on Broadway. I'm like, what in God's name? Don't do that. That's Groundhog Day. You can't touch Groundhog Day.
It's
By the way,
usually
Amelie
like
is
making a
up there.
video game out of a movie. Like it's always awful.
Yeah, it's like
Unless it's a Lego
Yeah.
video game. It's
Yeah.
awful. Right?
It's
Only
everything.
branded
I don't
thing that
like
is
them anymore.
ever good.
They're so good. You build.
They're so good. Like, anyway.
Anyway.
Did you have a question, Nina? Oh, the bucket list. We got it.
Oh yeah, you did it. You answered. Making
Yeah.
baguettes and riding bikes in France like Amelie.
I want to be an expat.
Doesn't everybody?
Doesn't
Right now, we all kind of want to be expats. Jeez Louise.
Oh boy.
Let's not go down that road.
Well, I read somewhere that I'm like a quarter Polish, and if you're Polish, guys, if you have like a grandmother or grandfather, this is real actually. If you have a relative that's pretty close that emigrated from Poland between like 1900 and 1950, there's a good chance that you could become Polish. So if you have a direct line from, especially a guy, like if you have a grandfather or something, there are legal ways you could spend like $4,000 and get Polish citizenship.
Yeah, I hear the weather's great out there.
Next question. Over here, lady. Anna.
Yeah, boom, right there.
Anna.
Not Janice?
Not Janet.
It's Nicole.
We're going to find a Janice. We're
We're
going to
going
find
with
one.
the ends today.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed your singing in Dr. Singalong's blog, and I was wondering
Thank you.
if you have any plans for future musicals?
That's a really good question. Well, I think that in Mystery Science Theater, which I'm going to be shooting soon, I'm very excited about it, guys. I wrote on it, which was super fun. I love writing.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank
That's so
you.
awesome.
Well, I mean, I was
This
a huge
girl
fan.
is such a dynamo rock star, by the way. You guys, you guys know. That's why you're at her panel right now, but continue. You wrote on it. Continue.
Yeah, I wrote on it. I wrote on it, and well, here's a true story how I got that job, guys. I did not get that job on merit. I got it, well, I mean, hopefully. I don't know what you're talking about. I was at Salt Lake City Comic Con, and I saw Joel in the green room. And I'm a huge fan. My brother and I didn't go out of the house when we were younger because we were homeschooled in a cage. It's a long story. Read my book. But like that was our favorite thing. I'm not kidding. That was our favorite thing growing up to watch MST3K together. And my brother's a hardcore fan. Like I even got him a signed poster off of eBay one year for his birthday. So I sold Joel. I was like, oh, I'm gonna rub his face in this. Like just spiteful. I'm gonna go get a selfie with Joel and rub his face in it. So I go up to Joel and we start talking. I get a job. That's literally.
But
how
what
it
else
happened.
did you have to do?
Nothing else.
Nothing else.
It involved a puppet. It's
That's the
weird.
lesson.
My hand is small. Let's just not go there. Anyway. I'm really excited. So evidently, I think one of the rewards of the Kickstarter was that the guy who wrote Frozen, Bobby, it's Bobby.
Lopez.
Yeah, Bobby Lopez. He is gonna write a song.
He's gonna be so mad that I forgot that, by the way.
It's okay. I put you on the spot. I follow him on Twitter and I see his face. You know, I've never met him, so it's fine.
That's all right.
He's gonna write a song, and so hopefully I'll be singing in that.
What?
I know.
A Bobby Lopez tune?
I know.
Crazy.
But this year I actually just really cut a lot of things out. I'm trying to. I've been taking some singing. I'm trying to get back into shape, and I tried to work out. That didn't work. But I've been doing a lot more acting and writing, and I'm very happy. So thank you for asking. Hopefully that will be awesome. And if there are future projects, I would love that, because I did go to 4 singing lessons, and I feel much way better about my abilities.
Next question.
Next question. Oh, front row. Front row. Your name is
Not
Natasha.
Janice.
Wait, nachos? What did
Not
you say?
Janice.
Oh, not Janice.
Not Janice works for everybody except Janice. And actually, I think
since
it's a
everybody
winning
else
name.
has been an N, I just Natasha. I was like, because
My name is Allie. So, Felicia,
boy. Yes, Allie.
I just wanted to thank you for being such an inspiration for young women in an industry that's kind of seen as kind of a male-dominated industry.
Thank you.
And my question for you is, what's something that scares you that you'd like to tackle and overcome?
Oh,
Other than a grizzly bear.
oh gosh, what scares me? I mean, I live in fear. I'm very high strung. What? I'm always, when I'm driving on the road, I'm convinced I'm gonna hit a child. Whenever I go anywhere, I have a slight headache. Oh, it's meningitis. Any kind of turbulence, I'm dead. I start writing a will on the Airways magazine, just so there's I always do and yet at the same time I always do things that scare me for some reason. So I mean, to me, writing a book was very scary, a nonfiction book. I'd love to write a fiction book because that terrifies the crap out of me. But then I was thinking, oh, if I set it in France, I could tax deduct the 2 months I spend in France making baguettes. So look for that novel out, 2019. But somebody actually at the panel earlier today asked, what was the biggest failure that you learned from? And in thinking about it, I was like, I've never learned from a success in any way that I have learned from failure. And a lot of my life was lived in fear of failure. Like a perfectionist syndrome that was just off the chain, you guys. I was so good at it. And I realized that once I really got myself out of that cage of perfectionism, that's when I started to grow as a person and find who I was and not be so careful to be on the straight and narrow of what other people needed from me or thought of me or the pressure that they put on me to be perfect. I kind of took that internally and I caged myself in a way. And when I started being like, just screw it, I'll do whatever I want, not thinking about that, and I might try this and fail, and I'll learn on the other side so much more about myself, that really is when my world opened up. So, I mean, I would encourage anybody every day to do little small failures. I mean, you'll learn way more about yourself and the world than you ever learn trying to make everything perfect every day.
What did you do? Yeah, that's a round of applause for that. Yeah. What did you do personally, or what are steps that you took to help you to let go? Because I struggle with that a lot. I hate failing, and because I hate failing other people, and I don't feel like I have a perfectionism, but I'm sure that I probably do. But I just, we find ourselves wanting to do great. So how were you able to just go it's okay?
I mean, it's really tough. I think if you have a certain standard that you have in life, you're it's not going to live up to it. But I think you have to push yourself beyond what you know you're capable of, and then try to make that as good as possible, and accept yourself if stuff that you did the best you could. I can look back and I just started making videos in my garage, and then it turned into this into a career, and then I became a personality, and then I had a business, and like so much failure by mine along the way, but really success as well. But to me, like when I let go of the decisions I made that I regret, I think mostly it's regret. You can't live with regret looming in your past because it's like anvils on you. And I know after a lot of therapy and writing a memoir and meeting so many people in this world who have stories that are so beyond mine, I know that every time that I made a decision in the past, I was doing the best that I possibly could. I was giving everything. And who I was at that time might not be who I am now making that decision. But there's no way I could have known 5 years ago not to say yes or no to that thing. There's no way, but I was doing the best I could as the person at that moment. And you have to kind of just look at yourself as this fluid, changeable thing. Nobody is ever static. I'm not the same person I was yesterday because I've experienced so many small things. And if you accumulate that over a year or 2 years or 5 years, you're a different person, And if you're not pushing yourself and growing. So I think that's the key, knowing that you're doing the best you can at the time, but there is going to be failure, and you're going to take so much more from that failure in your life than you ever will with success. Success is just like, whoo, I didn't mess it up. Failure is like, well, what did I do wrong? All right, let's not do that again. I don't know.
Rock and roll. Next question.
Oh,
What do
way back. Way back.
In the way back.
What's your name?
Lorelai.
I was going to say Kelly.
I bought one of your Embrace Your Weird shirts.
Yay, thank you for that. Thank you.
And I was wondering if you were going to do another campaign.
I did a campaign when my book came out because I really wanted to do something after I met a lot of people in person who said, wow, this really helped me be myself and be proud to say something that I was ashamed of. And when I met a lot of people on tour who said that, especially young girls, I was like, oh no, no, we're doing something about this. So I picked this great Stomp Out Bullying, which is an amazing charity which educates kids in the areas of bullying, helps people overcome that, and also to persevere in the face of bullying. And we did this the charity shirt, Embrace Your Weird, which is basically a theme of my book that I just wanted to do some good in this world. So we gave all the money to this amazing charity. And I love the fact that you're asking about doing it again. I would love to do something, we'll see. It just had to be the special right thing. I spent like 2 months, redoing the design on that. So, I'm kind of a perfectionist. Trying to get work.
Oh, we've been over that. Yeah, we've got that.
I would love to do another one, and I promise it'll be cute too, okay? And do some good for the world. That's all. Like baseline T-shirt, cute, good for the world.
By the way, speaking of weird, I ran across. Speaking of weird, we're at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
No, I recently came across this quote, and I can't believe I'd never found this quote before, but it's kind of become my favorite quote that I'm going to paraphrase because I don't know.
It's your favorite one.
It's
You
my
can't
favorite quote,
remember.
but I know. Trust me, I'm with you. I remember certain things. Anyway, but it was this quote, and it was so awesome. It's from Dr. Seuss, because the guy was.
You can't remember a Dr. Seuss
No. Hear me out. His
name is Theodore Geisel.
I think I'm paraphrasing, but I might not be. But essentially, the quote was, "You have to be odd to be number one." And as soon as I read it, I was like, "That is one of the most bomb-ass quotes I've ever read in my life." And not that we should be all trying to be number one. I don't think life is a competition necessarily, but to the extent that we're trying to shoot for excellence and make awesome stuff, and to encourage people that, yeah, be weird. Be weird. Embrace your weird. Embrace your oddness. Embrace what makes you different, because that ultimately will be something that kind of elevates you.
I mean, that's the only thing that will make you stand out in this world for yourself or in your career or whatever. Like, we are literally the only people who are us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all unique.
What?
I know, yeah. But if you think about that, you're literally the only person who can imprint the world in the way you do. And if you are sitting here like somebody's saying, "Oh, you're too odd," or "Your interest in this is not cool," or "I don't like the way that you behave in this way," you're conforming to some sort of like vanilla humanity that doesn't necessarily allow you to do what you need to do, which is make your imprint. Whether it's in small ways, just on, supporting your friends, or in big ways in what you create or what you do with your career. So like that's what really makes me angry when I see people abandoning things that fuel them, that let them channel their passion in an individual way. And because one guy is like, he like geek stuff, well, I'm not gonna date you. You know, like, who's that guy? He's a scrub.
Yes.
We had a whole thing with a TLC scrub.
Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's
hollering at
ride.
ladies, you're a scrub.
What a dick.
Ugh. Don't be that guy.
I mean, scrub.
Scrub.
Next question.
Yeah. Next question over here with the blue arm. Oh, that's you. Okay, bye.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Julieta from Argentina. Everybody loves you in Argentina. So,
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No.
I really want to go. I have a Pinterest board of South America. One day, Patagonia.
Should go. We have a Comic-Con.
Okay,
So
one day.
You're invited.
Invite me.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Do you have the official authority to invite her to this Comic-Con?
Okay.
She's
not get
got a
ahead of
wig on.
ourselves.
It's cool.
It's cool.
Well.
Okay.
My question was, given that you do so many things, how do you manage to manage your time, with the...
How do I manage to manage my time? Well, a good question, a good answer to that is that it's less is better. So this year I decided to just cut out all the things that were distracting me from the real things that I wanted to do, which was write and act and be creative. It's awesome. I love everything I do, but I noticed that especially when other people wanted my time, I was willing to give it more than really devoting the time that I needed to do the things that only I could do, right? So, I mean, you have to be kind of ruthless with yourself and have your goals and like cut things into smaller pieces. I love to-do lists, and especially to-do apps, which I own all of them, and I don't use them after about 5 days, right? So,
I don't know what you're talking about because, I do know what you're talking about, but I have the top of my to-do list is make a to-do list. I can't, I am horrible. I'm horrible.
You have to organize yourself.
I can't, I'm a Libra, I'm all over the place. I can't.
You're so Libra.
I'm such a Libra.
So Libra.
Any other Libras in the house? Anybody?
Wow.
Right? Best people on earth. Continue.
Anyway, so the best thing to me when I had a really hard problem was I had a group of friends and we'd do goals, and every week we'd get together for breakfast, and they were career goals. I talk about this in my book, but it's the only reason the guild got made was that I got shamed every week by showing up to this group, and the only thing I had was like World of Warcraft, and they were like directed a short film, wrote a script, got levels 52, So I guess if you have goals that it's true.
Saved my party from a demon using a healing spell.
So if you're like frustrated and you feel like you're not like pushing yourself forward, I think basically get 5 people to be accountable to, and like just make sure every week you're meeting and you're pushing forward even an inch. It will feel like accomplishment. And if you can't discipline yourself, that's why like when I really get into a rut where I'm not doing anything, which believe me I do, it's all I put on a good show, but sometimes I'm a lazy ass. I will just go like, okay, you got to go take a class. So I took stand-up class earlier this year. I took singing class. I took some improv, and I just got myself into the habit of showing up and producing. And that really got me more, and that got me back on the self-motivated track a little bit more, because like we're not perfect, and there's a lot of TV to watch. So
Stranger Things.
I got obsessed with Chef's Table. Chef's Table is so good. I'm gonna watch it next week. Come on, calm down.
Anybody watch Stranger Things?
Yes,
yet?
everyone loves it.
Oh my God,
I
it's my
know.
80s wet dream. It's so great.
I don't
So
wanna
good.
Okay, you're thinking about you
You
think.
should be paying me. I've been plugging their show all day long. I had 2 panels before yours, and I started talking
Plugging
about
more of
Stranger
it? You're plugging more. You were plugging in the other
Plugging
panels
Stranger
too?
Things. It's
Okay.
so good.
I'm going to watch it. It's on
Whatever.
I had to watch British Baking Show.
You gotta go make some baguettes in France, girl.
I'm really obsessed with baked goods clearly lately. Okay, I should take a class, but not in. But I don't want to blow my load before I go to France. Sorry, I don't want to spend my yeast before.
You're not making it better. You're not. That did not make it better. Next question.
Next question.
Next question.
Oh God. Okay. We got 2 hands here, but I'm okay. Oh, you sacrificed. That's very sweet. The ginger man, please stand up.
I missed that, by the way.
What?
I miss your ginger.
Oh, well, I was just going a little blonde, you know, trying it out.
Firstly, you know, if any of you guys need to come to New Zealand,
Oh, are you inviting me to a con in New Zealand?
I'm inviting all of you because come November, you never know. So
Are you inviting me?
I'm inviting you and...
Do you have the authority to do this? Because
How big is your house? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
You and all 14 of your friends.
do you live in the Shire?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
You're a liar. I'm gonna show up with a bag like, where's this? Oh, it's a hovel, you know.
That does exist, by the way.
I know.
Oh,
Listen,
good.
I have another Pinterest board.
So my question is, how would you get started on a pet project? Like, what's your casting off point?
I will go to a coffee shop and make myself sit there until I write down some relevant things. I guess, you know, it's really hard to do anything, guys. Everybody's got a good idea. And then when you start digging in, you're like, oh, this is work. I mean, nothing good is ever easy. And that's what a lot of my friends who write, they're like, well, I have a great idea. And I'm like, are you going to write till the end? And I said this to myself, too, because I had like 15 unfinished projects. And this year I was like, you got to finish. So I finished already like three things already. And that's not, you know, I got to go rewrite them and everything. But I literally forced myself to finish. And I think giving yourself a time limit is really important. Because if it's just this amorphous, I'm going to write a novel, and then 20 years goes by, and I don't know, maybe not, hopefully not, but it's really hard. So I think, you know, if you have a project that you're passionate about, whatever it is, sit down and make a timeline. It can shift, but at least you have goals. I mean, I think and then break it down into smaller pieces. Because if you just like look at a novel and it's 400 pages, you're just going to like throw up and watch Stranger Things, you know? Yeah. It's too much. It's too much for a human.
It's so good.
But the only reason I got through my book, because I was hyperventilating, I was like, okay, how many chapters does a normal book have? All right, that's 15, 17, 20 chapters. All right, how many pages are in a chapter? I literally mathematically just cut it into pieces, and I was like, all right, so you could do a rough draft. You could write 1,000 words a day and do a rough draft of a chapter every 2 weeks. And then I looked at my calendar. I mean, this is the only way I got through it, you guys. And that really helped me. If you're not an anal retentive, that might not work for you as a person. And maybe and then go get a group of 5 people and be like, help me accountable. I mean, those are my 2 keys: support and then breaking things into smaller pieces. Because nothing that's long term is going to be done in a day. And you really have to have the perseverance to, especially at like 2/3 mark, you just get so depressed and you think it's just the poopiest thing ever. Neil Gaiman has a great thing about that. He's like, at the 2/3 mark of everything, everybody thinks it's the worst idea invented. Every writer. It's because you get into the hard, like, you know, trying to get toward the end. You're nodding. Hey, we got a writer in the house. Yeah, it's the painful, like, just tear my heart out. I'm gonna go watch a lot of British baking show and avoid life a little bit. But getting you through that hump, you just have to do whatever it takes. And that would be my advice to you. That was really long. Okay, bye.
Next question.
Next question. Oh, writer. We got the writer here.
We got a mic coming to you right there.
Mike
Bada
is
bing.
coming. I like your
Boom.
hair.
Thank you very much. So my big question for you was, what's been your favorite project to date that you've been working on lately?
Well, to date or lately?
To date.
Okay, so in my life.
So yeah, let's go with to date. Yeah.
Okay, to date. Wow, that's really hard. You know, I'm so lucky to have worked on sets that I really, really love people. I mean, Supernatural was such an amazing experience. It was my longest experience on a show. That was 4 years I was on that show. So
How many episodes did you end up doing?
I ended up doing, I think, 9 or 10 or something like
10,
that.
yeah.
So I wasn't there on it like a ton, but I would always come in like 2-3 episodes a season and just be like, hey guys, Jared, lift me, you know? It's a really good job, you guys. And that was a real the set they have is like a real family. So that was an amazing experience. And the Guild, of course, is close to my heart because that was like 7 years of my life and really just made everything I've done. I guess Dr. Horrible was my favorite experience. If I had to be like, oh, what was the height of your fulfilling, you know, as an artist? I think Dr. Horrible, because it was outside the system, but I was doing everything I love with people who are just amazing. And the spirit of joy around that project was just something I don't know if I'll ever equal, because it was just like Renegadeville, you know? We're making something, you know, with
During the writer's
writer's
strike, right?
strike, so we're like, stick it to the man. I love sticking it to the man. I realize like I have a real hard time working in the system. Like I don't know how to play it. Hollywood is really, I gotta learn how to play that a little bit better. But if I'm just punch them in the face, like I can do anything. Anyway, so that's my favorite to this day. I don't know. What's yours? What's your favorite project?
To date, or that I've worked on lately?
See?
It was a very interesting way to word that question. I don't know.
You never asked that question?
No, I have. Well, I think I have. I mean.
Well, now I'm asking it. I want to know.
But well, yes, you are. I don't know. What?
You've had so many good projects.
I've been so blessed. I mean, literally, obviously, Chuck was the thing that.
Such a good show.
Chuck fans?
Such a good show.
Thank you. Yeah. It was. I mean, it was super hard fought battle for 5 years. I mean, whether it was us almost getting canceled every single year.
I auditioned for the sister part.
Did you really?
I did.
Oh, you know, we might have talked about that. By the way, this is actually great. This is a great story. I mean, I think it's a great story.
Always.
So it will be. Felicia and I met on the very trip that was
that's it, yes.
to Birmingham, where we went to, what was that con? It was StarCon?
Star Fury.
Star Fury Con in Birmingham, England.
With Mark Shepard.
With Mark Shepard. Adam Baldwin was there. Summer Glau was there.
Summer Glau, yeah.
Who else was there?
I can't remember.
Miracle Lori was there.
Miracle Lori.
came.
I remember I got so drunk it almost threw up Indian food all over. Because
That would
they're
be
famous
bad.
for Indian food, but then I ate too much and I danced. And I get drunk after one drink, guys, so I wasn't like a lush or something. It's fine. No judgy. You can be luscious. It's
No
fine.
judgy.
Anyway,
Lush,
yeah, that's where we met. I forgot
So
about
we
that, yeah.
we met on that trip, and that was the trip where we were coming up on the finale. I think it was season 2.
That Subway thing you
the
did.
Subway thing. And so I had a
forgot about
panel.
that.
So Adam and I had like a panel together or something, and then I had another panel, but like. I was like, we've already answered all the questions that we could answer, and so what I went to the people. Literally, I'd worked it out. I figured out where a Subway was because the finale, the $5 finale foot-long deal that Wendy Farrington, who by the way still works with us here at HQ, was a part of kind of spearheading. Was the finale was that Monday, and so I went to everybody and I was like, hey, would you guys all want to? I sat in my panel. I said, hey, instead of answering any questions, would you guys all want to go march over to Subway and go get some sandwiches? And like 280 people, we all just got up and we marched to Subway. And the poor, even though we called the people at Subway, that was, by the way, like maybe.
It was in the middle of Birmingham, England. They were all told like this, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of, not really like that. But anyway.
Close enough. And
Close-ish.
And we gave them a heads up, like, hey, a bunch of people are going to come get sandwiches. We walked in there, and I felt like, I mean, I think we even sang at one point, we were like, the ants come marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. And we all marched into this, like, weird mall area, and they had this Subway, and the looks on their faces, they were like, what in God's name is going on right now? What is going on? And we
No,
made
and then I was
sandwiches.
inside, and they're like, "Hey,
But that's
Zach's
the
over
trip
at
that I love,
Subway."
Felicia.
Yes,
Come on.
it really no. I was like, "Zach's over at Subway making sandwiches," and I was like, "What?" And we all went, or just staring at him, making sandwiches, like just cutting the bread in that weird sort of like serial killery way they do.
Yeah.
Like,
Got a cheese.
cutting it.
White cheese. Do you want cheese? What do you want? This is
Anyway,
not really
that's a good
provolone.
memory.
Who are we kidding, guys? It's
Yeah.
not.
All right. Next question. Or did you finish? No.
No, that was it.
Oh, that was good. Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, there's a very pale hand up there. Yeah.
The
fellow pale hand.
pale-handed.
Yeah.
Speaking of different goals you're trying to reach and acting, first of all, do you have any advice to aspiring actors and actresses here?
Well, it's really hard. If you really, 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 really love it, do it. Make sure you're not doing it because you want to be famous. And that's the one thing I always tell everybody, because this is a career, you know, and you have to really want to do the art of acting, not just be like, hey, I want to be on the cover of a magazine. I mean, you know, there's ways to do that other than acting. So just make sure the craft of acting is what you love. that you would, if you couldn't make a career out of it, you'd be doing, little theater and community theater in Topeka or Mississippi. Like, that's what I love. That's why I fell in love with performing, is because I did like the core score number 7, and I was like, this is the best thing of my life. So like I would give you that advice. And then I would always be like, the business will try to kill the joy that got you into it. And you have to understand the business is separate from the art form. And you have to maintain the art form at the same time as playing the business. And then just work really hard. You have to take class. You always have to be learning. I mean, that's what I turned, just last year I was like, oh, you haven't been in class in a couple years. You haven't been doing it. You need to, if I was a marathon runner, I'd be running every day, right? And the same thing about violin or any kind of art form. Like, you have to treat it like it's a craft that you have to keep up. And that's just my philosophy that I've latently gotten into, because the best people are either performing every day. I mean, like, you're an amazing singer and actor. You never stop doing that. Whether,
Well, I don't always have the opportunity to sing in the things that I'm doing, but I love singing. I sing every day just for shits.
It's just your fun, right?
Yeah.
Because it's part of your life. It's part of your soul and your life. So I guess I would say that. And then if you do not live in LA, get as much experience not in LA as possible before, or New York. Like, get a reel, get all your business done, and don't come just naked to LA. Like, it's very hard.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, don't do naked.
A lot of people are gonna pounce on that. That's not good.
And make sure you do something else besides acting that really fuels your self-worth, because it's very hard when you're just kind of going out to auditions and you'll do 100 and you might not get a job, to still retain faith in yourself. Whether you're just like a baker, or I'm really obsessed with baking, you guys, or a singer or a potter, or like you just have a job that you do on the side, like web design or something. Make sure you have something that after an audition that's traumatic, you can go home to and be like, well, that happened. Let's make some art or something. Because that's, I think that's really valuable, because the business can be very discouraging of it. But if it's your passion, do it. That was really discouraging advice. But it's really, really hard.
That is 100% accurate. And if you really,
Okay,
want, no, seriously, it is. And if you really, and by the way, and one of the best tests of how much you love it is if you can't pay your bills with it, but you still want to do it.
Yes, that's great. That was much more better summary than mine.
No. You
It's
explained her question. I'm just saying, I'm just adding to that, if you believe and you tell people, I love acting, great, then you should be fine acting in a community theater play. I grew up doing my whole life. I'm sure you did as well.
Yeah.
I did school theater, community theater. I loved it. I could not, in our little 120-seat house theater in Ojai, California, I loved it. I would do anything I could there. Obviously, I wanted to do more, but if that never happened, I still think I'd still be going there. I'd be doing my day job, and then I'd go and do that, and I'd go
you do
perform.
it for fun. Yeah, so I think that's the litmus test. And just treating it like it's something you need to do, because if you're just looking for the job, like unless you're lucky to get on a series, like you're not acting that much when they're paying you. So make sure you're doing something that fuels that between the times that people are hiring you. That's my practical advice. Next question. Backpack. Hey, Harvey.
Janice?
Yep. No.
Vinny.
Oh my God. You literally could have dropped the mic right then and I'd be totally fine with it.
That was it.
That was, talk about timing.
Wow.
That was
Perfect.
I was wondering what it was like, and were there any downsides to going from a more niche fan base, like in the early years of the Guild, to a much more mainstream fan base after you did Supernatural and Dr. Horrible?
I think that's a really good question. I think fame and recognition and that's all that thing that you think is awesome. There's a lot of not great things about all that stuff, about people knowing you but not knowing you as a person. And the Guild was very niche, and I was so hands-on. I knew all the fans by name practically. And, I think Supernatural has been why I loved it so much, not only because the job and the people involved, but the fan base is so amazing and so inspiring to me. And a different kind of, fan from the Guild, which was a lot more male and a little bit older, like especially with Supernatural, like young girls. That has been so impactful to me, knowing that I want to impact young girls and inspire them to do things that are not outside the mainstream and push the envelope about what it means to be a geek or a scientist or, just in general, just breaking the rules a little bit. So I think the fan bases and those kind of projects have been really awesome because I feel like it's just been gathering just more and more people who are like-minded and who I would love to have a conversation with. I think the most traumatic adjustment that I had in my life was when Geek and Sundry launched. And I wasn't really, like, the guild was on YouTube, but that wasn't where the fan base I had, like, one-on-one it was. We were on the forums and, like, Xbox and things like that. So getting on YouTube and being on it so much and being more of a personality, that was really actually very scarring to me in a way because it was a different kind of way of perceiving me as a person. And I think YouTube audience was a different kind of person, and it was more exposed to just a general way. And I think the feedback was really hurtful because it was a lot of negativity. Like, nobody's going to YouTube comments to make friends, right? You know, nobody. You're just going there for a big old kick in the face, really. And having that sort of mass feedback and been on a platform that wasn't really necessarily my native world and being portrayed in a way that I didn't feel 100% secure. Like, I'd rather be a character any day than my who I am. That was really, really hard to adjust to. And I talked about that in my book, especially like some of the negative things, the floods of negativity, like really made me want to quit. I mean, I'm surprised I'm still here. I could be in France. So I guess, you know, you just have to protect
I cannot wait to taste your baguettes.
I know, they're going to be so good.
Literally, and that
So
is not a
flaky.
euphemism, guys. Calm down.
But jong, you know, ka-choo. So I guess that would be the one thing that was hard to adjust to. I mean, it was great because I'm exposed to a lot more people, but they didn't know where I came from. They were just like, here's this cute girl being shoved in my face a lot as a personality. And them not knowing my intentions and how grassroots I had grown and how the only reason I did this stuff was because I just liked entertaining. You know, it was really hard. I don't know, have you ever experienced, you know, I'm sure you experienced that a lot. Like, when people don't know who you are as a person and then just assume things about you, that you can't just chase them down and be like, well, actually, you know, there's not enough time in the world, but you want to because it's like, no, you don't understand who I am as a person.
Yes, no, no, that happens. Look, that is one of the downsides of whatever celebrity is, right? Whatever level of that, people see you, they assume things, you know, and unfortunately, things like Twitter, 140 characters can't quite express. This is what I mean by this. This is what I stand. This is what when I tweet this, you want to misconstrue what I mean. This is what I mean. It's so difficult to do that. But to be perfectly honest, look, I knew that going into the job. Unfortunately, you know, there's a lot of people who become famous and then they're soured by the fame. They go, oh my God, if I knew it was going to be like this, I never would. It's like, excuse me, sorry, dipshit, you knew exactly what you were getting into.
Yeah, you knew what you were getting into. That's what you wanted.
Decades and decades and decades of people who became famous before you, and for you to play the ignorance card now is, I don't buy it. I'm sorry. If you want to go be an actor or a rock star or anything that comes with that, a level of celebrity, you got to know that comes with it. So own that, work with that, and honestly, one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, wanted to do HQ and wanted to do these intimate kind of panels that are fan generated was because this was the only that I could find in the world we live in, the only time I could find where I could actually speak to people and say, hey, this is who I am.
Yeah.
It's not 5 seconds in an autograph line. It's not 5 seconds in like a Smiles for Smiles booth or whatever, which, by the way, I hope you guys do plenty of. keep going doing that. Seriously. No, but by the way,
really.
but those are all good. But the only time that we get to actually sit and have a conversation, oddly, aptly named, a conversation for a cause, with you guys and go, hey, guess what? If you prick me, I bleed. I'm a human being. And you need more explanation on the thing that I tweeted or the thing, first question of the night. Expound on that, boom, done. But you know, we could do it on Periscope or we could do it, there's things that we could do that on.
Well, nowadays, I mean,
Yeah.
live streaming, that's the reason why my company, Geek and Sundry, does Twitch streaming, is
Yeah.
because I got so fed up with the YouTube world, to be honest with you, that I started streaming on my own. Just as like, can I just have something that makes me feel like I'm in touch with people again? And the reason why I did this was I have a family online. And I just started doing it by myself, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can ban people who are assholes. And the other people in the chat who I like can ban assholes. And we can have a protected environment where we can communally set the tone. And like that's why we started the business side of the Geek Center, which has the same tone. No asshole. Like you can't be in the chat. We'll ban you. I'm sorry. And if you think that's draconian or you have a problem with it, we'll listen to but if it's clear that you were a jerk, either don't be a jerk or you can't play with us. And the fact that you can have that privilege of like making something safe for yourself as a person as well as the community, I think is awesome. And
then also being seen, because that's the thing. You're breaking down barriers. There's so many weird barriers that exist. And by the way, there's some very real barriers that exist between fan and celebrity and all that stuff because, look, unfortunately, there are some fucking nutty fans out there that literally...
And we're only one person and we can't spend... Like, I can only maintain five friendships, really. Like, I'm not a good friend for one of 5 people. I can't... We can't be enough... It actually is sad because it would love to be enough for every single person we meet. But it's just not. There's not enough humanity. But the fact that we can create worlds like this online or offline where we feel like, hey, we're all in this together and we're all of like minds and we're all trying to accomplish something together. That's what's amazing about social media. And as much as you could say the horrible things about it, social media gives us the opportunity to do that. And the more we concentrate on the proactive parts of it and the good parts of it, it sort of takes the taint out of, the abuse and all the other things that go along with it as well.
But get draconian, guys. Get super draconian.
Yeah, why not? You don't need to please everybody. That's what what? Boy.
Next question.
Oh, you over there. I see you too. I'm going to get you. Hi. Are you New Zealandy too?
No.
Oh.
Oh my God, you said that with such disdain. You were like, God, I wish I was a Kiwi.
Sounds fantastic. I'm actually from Austin.
Oh, hook 'em.
I want to say...
Hook 'em.
What?
No, it was funny.
It was cute?
It was adorable.
It was sportsy.
Yes.
It's not the devil, you guys. It's a longhorn.
Hook 'em horns.
Yeah, okay.
Sports.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Zach, for doing this. Thank you, Felicia, for being you and being here.
Thank you.
I had read that you were going to be voice acting in the comic book adaptation of Chew.
Chew, yeah.
That's still happening. Can you give us some information about it?
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to that project. Do you ever did a project and you're like, what happened to that thing?
All the time.
Yeah, okay, good. I did that thing like 2 years ago. It was amazing. David Tennant isn't it? But I've heard no plans, and I love Chew, the comic. I have been doing a lot of voiceover lately. I actually can't say some of the projects, but they're actually very cool. Sorry. I actually have 5 projects. I just kind of in my head. I've been doing so much voiceover this year because I've actually have time to do it. So later this year, I'm going to be doing a lot of voices on cartoons and video games and all that stuff. So look out for that. Yeah, that's the question, right? That was it. Okay, good. I don't know what the hell is going on with it. I'm hoping it comes out, and I'm sure it's going to be great because it's a great comic book. But, if I hear something, I'll tweet it. All right. Yeah, sorry, that was unexciting. Next question. Oh, you. Hi, front row. Your name is Jill.
That is an OG nurture, by the way. Is that first generation?
Yeah, it's old.
Well done.
Nice.
Well done.
So I love Geek and Sundry and everything that goes on there.
Thank you.
I especially love the scripted things with like Spooked and Caper were 2 of my favorite things.
Oh, thank you for that.
So do you have any plans with anything like that?
Yeah, no, thank you for that. Those were my passion projects. Unfortunately, given the environment of scripted and on the web, it's kind of took a huge nosedive, to be honest with you, sadly, because you can't just make scripted for $5. That's awesome, It's just really hard. Like the Guild was an exception, was like one of the first things, and I actually had to pay people out of pocket to keep it going. And if you're a business, you can't be like, hey, show up for $5. You just can't. So my goal this year was to get some projects together so that I can make those bigger scripted stuff, either through Geek and Sundry or on my own. We'll see. I don't know. Hopefully next year some of those will happen. Geek and Sundry has been so busy with the live streaming has gotten so popular, like that's taken over a lot. But just, I hear you, like that's my dream to only make scripted. And so, you have to, unfortunately, the business model has to support it. And I think the last several years, a lot of digital content, because nobody knew the formula how to make something successful. They're like, well, I can't spend $200,000 or $300,000 on that, but I'll give a single vlogger $50,000, and that'll be my budget for the year, right? I mean, I don't want to throw around, whatever. I'm not going to get too businessy, guys. I could do this. I could do a PowerPoint, and guys, the metrics are definitely clear here, the demographic. Whatever, I could do all that. Anyway, what I do think is awesome, though, is that lately there has been more money poured into the idea of developing scripted online. And a lot of these SVOD services, people need exclusive content. They need bigger, they're getting away from that sort of like very cheap, quick kind of content. And we're going back to maybe that stuff that I basically was known for, The Guild and Dr. Horrible. So that's what I'm very excited about. And I want to be in that business as a creator, a producer, a writer, actor. So that's definitely a goal of mine. And whether it's not going to happen immediately, but hopefully sometime next year, all these projects I've been working on all year would happen. And hopefully you'll like it, because that's exactly the kind of stuff that I love too. Thank you.
Bada bing. Next, we have time for one more question.
Uno más. That was Spanish. Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, there you go. You're the only person. I mean, I was only looking at you, so I don't know. I'm sorry if I ignored other people with hands.
First off, thank you, Zach. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Felicia, for bringing your baby phone.
This is, guys, this is called Farty Peach. He's a Japanese peach gnome. If you look up on YouTube, Peach Bottom Japanese, you will see the most traumatic fake documentary video of a fake CGI peach man. Just look it up. Okay?
Clearly was enough to compel her to buy the case.
Now, my
how
friend
good the
got it
video
for me
is.
from Taiwan, but I love it more than anything. And some fans sent me, okay, this is a true story, guys. A fan sent me a stuffed one. I'm going over, but this is important.
Go over.
A stuffed one that looked like this. It was a stuffed one. Not kidding. You turn it over, and it had a butthole you could put your finger in. This is a children's toy of a peach bottom with an actual bottom.
The Japanese have been ahead of their time for a long while now, and if you need a little butthole, anyway.
What was your question?
So your question, sir.
Just real quick, could you speak any little more about Mission Science Theater, and also, if it's possible, give a shout out to my buddy Fernando. It's his birthday.
Fernando, I heard it's your birthday. Mr. Science Theater. Mr. Science Theater is awesome. Like I said, I wrote on 4 episodes. I'm so excited. Guys, the worst movies ever. There's going to be a panel on site at 8:30 tomorrow night, which means I can't actually go to any part. Oh, no, Saturday night. So if you guys, we're doing a signing in the afternoon at the Shout booth, and then we're doing at Petco Park, where the Geek and Sundry and Nerdist, we're doing a little panel there. I don't know what time. I think it's at like 5 or something. I don't know. Just look at the schedule. And then but you don't have to have a badge to go do that. And Joel and Jonah and I will be there. And then Joel and I will be doing a panel on site at 8:30 on Saturday night. You probably have other things to do, but we're going to be funny. So I'm just so thrilled to be a part of that. And, you know, honestly, Joel is exactly who you'd think he was. He gets on the phone, and he's just so sweet about it. He's like, guys, this movie is so awesome. There's this, you know, a pterodactyl, and it's like carrying people, and I don't know, it's just awesome. Like, he loves these movies in a way that you could tell that's not spiteful. It's not making fun of the people who made the movie. It's just like loving everything about it that's bad. And that's what I love about the show. It's not disdainful of people trying to make a movie. So I'm really excited. Hopefully, and all those events are on Saturday. So if you guys have time on Saturday, find me at one of those events. I posted all my info on my Facebook page. So if you want to come see Joel and Jonah and me talk about it, please do. And thank you, Zach, for having me yet another
Ladies
year.
and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to Felicia Day! Felicia, you're the bomb.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's clap her off the stage.
Thank you.
Don't forget your cup. Don't forget your cup and your phone. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get to the, see, she just gave birth to it. That's what happened. Felicia Day! Was that fun? You all enjoy yourself? Fantastic. Thank you all for coming to Nerd HQ. Anybody here? I'm sure Eric asked this before. First time Nerd HQers? Fantastic. Second time Nerd HQers? Interesting. Third time Nerd HQers? Fourth time Nerd HQers? Fifth time? Fuck yeah! Any 6-timers from the very beginning? Yes. Yes. Raise your hand, honey. Stop it. He asked you. He's being honest. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for continuing to support us and believe in us. And we hope that we will continue to bring you everything that we can. Every panel, every bit of merch, every video game. We want you guys to have the most amazing experience you can this weekend. So thank you for believing in us. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend here at the Comic-Con, either here at HQ or elsewhere. God bless you guys. Have a great night.